What's up, guys? So I actually didn't do a review yesterday because today is actually the morning of Saturday. But I didn't get the chance to do last night my impression of day one. Day one of the convention was actually really cool. It was a really good time. My arms are really tired, so it's hard to hold the camera, I guess, like this for pointing at me, because it's a different angle than I usually do. I don't get to, because when you hold a camera, usually you're on like a triangle formation. I don't get to do that when I'm vlogging like this, so my arms are a little bit tired. But it's more a testament to the fact that yesterday was really fun. I'm really enjoying the con so far. It's the biggest merch room that I've been to. I've been told that I should be excited then to go to YumaCon later and other big conventions in the future, but I'm actually really excited to see more from today, day two. So hopefully good things happen. I got a good number of cosplays yesterday. I got some really good ones. I did, however, unfortunately, get my receiver screen on my camera over here. It's not the biggest deal because at least I can still use the screen, so it could definitely be worse. But the day still, overall, I wasn't gonna let that ruin my day at all. Overall, the day was still really fun. There was a little bit, I guess, of shenanigans, but we got to get some Chicago deep dish pizza, which is actually pretty good, as much as maybe I disagree with putting the sauce on top. But, you know, come fight me, bro. I will say, it did seem like we were very confused for a long time on where panel rooms were. It kind of seems strange that the convention hall, or what's labeled as a convention hall, doesn't really have all of the panels. In fact, most of the panel rooms seem to be in the hotel here. Luckily, we're staying in it, and we're actually in a good room, like, location-wise. So, like, I guess it's really not that big of a deal, but for us, but it was a bit confusing because I would have expected most of the things to be in the convention center, but there's also a porn convention going on at the same time. So, yeah, I guess I really can't. They're sharing the space clearly, so I could see maybe why they would want to move more of the panel rooms to be in the hotel, I guess. I really haven't been told too much else in terms of anything negative. Everybody that I know is having a really good time. So hopefully we can see better things today. I've already gotten some cosplays, actually. I was able to get out kind of early. And there seems to be a decent amount of food options around here, so that's always a good plus. And we weren't really, it's not like we haven't been starving, so we're pretty good. Also, delivery is magic, so that's another factor. Well, we did go to the Friday rave last night, actually. We went to it for a very short amount of time. We were very tired. But we wanted to kind of see what the music would be like, because when we went to Milwaukee, it was incredibly disappointing. So we were hopeful that at Midwest it would be better. And our hopes carried through because it was awesome music. The rave seemed like a great time. There wasn't a ton of people there, but there almost never is on a Friday rave. And it just seemed really fun, and I'm excited to go tonight. After, we could have a little bit of party time, and then we get to go to the rave, and it's gonna be super fun. Like, I'm really excited to go to the rave. I will say it was disappointed. We wanted to do karaoke yesterday, and it was a 2-hour wait at 11 p.m. It was a 2-hour wait for me to get to my song, and I was the first one to turn it in. So we're definitely like, no, thank you, absolutely. I mean, there's not really much the con could do about that, to be honest. So it's not like I'm gonna really dock them points for it. But at the same time, it's like, bruh. The game room, I would say, is not as good as Milwaukee's was, because Milwaukee just hits it out of the park last 2 years. So I think it's always hard for me to go to a new game room and it not be Anime Milwaukee's. But it was still a really good game room. I mean, they had good DDR. They've got Jubeat. I always judge it by their rhythm games almost, but what was interesting though is they have a pachinko thing. Nick has kind of been skepticizing on it because pachinko is used for gambling in Japan. He recently went to Japan, so I mean, there you go. He's gonna, but it's kind of more I would consider it gambling like Chuck E. Cheese's gambling here. What you do is you get the balls and then you get them for prizes. So I mean, it's like going to Dave and Buster's. It's like going to Chuck E. Cheese, except it's only pachinko as your option. I got to go to a few things today. I got to get more cosplay if I want to do 2 videos. And I'm really excited. I really hope I'm going to try to get both the cosplay music videos around the same time. But I'm going to try to take my time with them as well. I'm not going to rush either of them. So, thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll be back for my day 2 impressions tomorrow. So I never really got the chance to do the day 2 impressions video yesterday. I kind of forgot, and then yeah, a lot of things happened between in the last 2 days. So I decided, because the first part was a little shorter than I really would have initially anticipated, I'm gonna make the impressions all on video. Hooray! Very tired. There are a few things though on Saturday that started to become more apparent about maybe some of the more of the flaws, I think, of the convention. Started to become more apparent on Saturday, but that's, I think, because on Friday it's more like we don't know, we need to figure out where to go, what we're doing, all these things, like everything's new when it's a new convention. You don't really notice the faults right away, but then Saturday, usually the second day, is when you start to notice them. And that was the biggest thing that we had issues with, were the amount of badge checkpoints that were there. That was something that genuinely would bother us, because we realized later, so one badge checkpoint was going into the hotel, and we realized that yes, there's a lot of parts of the hotel that the convention is involved with, and it did rent out a lot of the hotel. However, there's definitely not only convention goers staying in the hotel rooms. So the issue is they have people coming in. They could have people coming in from multiple reasons from the convention center skywalk going into the Hyatt, and are they just if somebody who is not part of the convention, either Exotica or Anime Midwest, is somebody that's there not gonna know, or just gonna have to not get their, go be able to go to their room. It was weird, it was confusing. I'm sure people were able to get away with it, especially once they likely showed their room key. It probably made sense. I feel like having security guards there isn't a bad idea. That's not a fault. I think making it a badge checkpoint is a fault, but I think having security guards there is definitely a valid thing, because I think it's just, it's just safety concerns, and you always want to make sure all your patrons feel like they're being, protected and they're being cared for. So the other thing that bothered me was I was hearing a lot of issues about panels, and more importantly, the lack thereof in communication and personnel in panel rooms. There were apparently a number of possible panels that were 18 plus but did not check IDs, which is a legal factor, which really need to be careful with. I don't know if it's true. I can't confirm or deny it, but that's what I heard on the grapevine. Now, whether or not this is true, I kind of have to take the word, though, of the source that I got, because it's somebody that I wouldn't think would just make it up or just believe any old lie. I have to believe the person that told me it. I won't say, just because I don't want anything, just in case it's not true, to come down on them. But yeah, that seems like a problem. That's a serious problem if that's true. And I kind of am going to take their word for it, because they're somebody that I kind of think is a trustworthy source. And then an actual personal issue with the panel, though, is we were going to go into an 18 plus panel, but then actually a panel we were going to actually go into, it was an 18 plus panel, a DC Douglas panel, I think was his name. We were just oh, we're gonna go have fun, and we went in at 8 when it was supposed to start, and it hadn't started for 20 minutes, and we're like, well, why is he late? What's going on? And we were ready to leave, but then we get a mess. He made a post on Facebook, and not a staff person, but just an attendee of the panel went on the stage and was like, my panel got moved to this room, and it was a much smaller room or whatever, and we didn't go to the panel. We didn't go over, because we were that's not worth it. It's not worth that. It's we waited 20 extra minutes, and and then it got moved, and we'd have to go all the way over there. No, there should have been a staff member telling people. There should have been a staff member by the panel room door, no matter what, because it's a security issue, and it's probably, and the hotel would probably appreciate not having staff by rooms that maybe aren't being used for panels, but are empty at the time, but still having staff members by, so that random people just don't walk into your panel room like we all did, because none of us knew that the panel were moved. Like, a staff member should have been able there to notify people that a panel had moved and it was away from the schedule. Like, that was a serious issue. It didn't seem to happen too much. We didn't hear too much, but that'll kind of go into things I think I'll go over in the review of the whole later. It was, I'll have to kind of, like, look over at everything that kind of happened during the weekend. And then Sunday was just, it was just tiring. Like, I'm just beat. It's just, it always is how it happens. Like, I made the joke how every con and every con I leave the con, I made the joke that, like, every time I leave a con I say, I hate everybody here, I want to go home, and then a day later I'm like, man, that was a great convention, I loved everybody. Like, that's, I mean, it's day 3 always is tiring. It was kind of, but, like, sadly, I kind of got through day 3 and we were based on some, like, a bit of confusion and everything near the end. I didn't get to get as much cosplay as I wanted to. I'm a bit concerned that I might not be able to get 2 cosplay music videos out, or at least, if anything, it'll just have to be 1 and then a remix later, then maybe feature some extra ones, but we'll have to see. I'm clearly at home making this video because, like I said, I forgot to do it earlier, and I waited to get home to do this video because doing it in the car would be very cumbersome and awkward and loud. So figured I'd do it here. It wouldn't be as bad. I can stand in front of a window. There's light. Okay. Window. Windows. I'm very tired. So that's pretty much all my impressions. The con definitely seemed like it was really good. Sunday was lacked as usual. There's not really much impressions really for me to do on a day 3. It's always pretty much just like everybody's closing down. It's, you know, stuff. So I'm excited to do the review. I get to start the cosplay music video now and try to get this stuff out on Monday and make sure we're good to go.